Hello and welcome to my walkthrough of my online course. As you can see, the course was titled Introduction to BSA Training, and as you can probably guess, it is a training program for where I work at a financial institution in the Bank Secrecy Act department. So the first thing on my course is my course overview and welcome. It's pretty simple. I'll just try to explain a little bit of what the BSA department does. I told a little bit about myself, the instructor. I talked about the class. I gave instructions on logging in and just a little bit more material that I thought might be helpful. Moving on next is my course and unit objectives. The course objectives are define the responsibilities of the BSA department, identify suspicious transactions, demonstrate the ability to write a suspicious activity report, and be able to prepare a continuing review. I think each of my unit objections go in line with the course objections. I have 4 units, 4 course objectives. The first unit is called What is the BSA Department? Second week will be called Identifying a Suspicious Transaction. Week 3 will be Writing a SAR, or Suspicious Activity Report. And week 4 concerns what comes after the SAR, which is preparing a continuing review. Next is a little more general info, kind of an introduction to BSA. I was able to use 2 videos found on YouTube. And moving on into each module. Module 1, and each module is pretty much the same. I have the lesson and then an exit ticket that I'm using as an assessment. In my description, let's say in this module, we'll focus on what the BSA department is, who governs it, and the history of AML laws. So you see within the lesson itself, I put quite a bit of information in each one, and I tried to use as many videos and screenshots as I could. This here is a video provided by the FDIC that covers the complete Bank Secrecy Act. We have a few screenshots from FinCEN, which is the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, and it's a pretty big deal within the BSA department. Talk about a few other things that go in with the responsibilities. FinCEN 314A, which is provided by FinCEN, and OFAC. Again, my assessments are exit tickets. I have it as a Word document because I'm just going to ask these students to fill in a little bit of info and then email it to me. You can see it's pretty easy. I think it's a pretty good assessment here, though. Write a brief summary on what you found interesting in the video. That ought to give me a pretty good idea if the video is even worth watching. Moving on to Module 2, it's in line the same way. The lesson plan is identifying suspicious transactions. And I basically just have a little brief introduction. I give a few examples of what suspicious transactions are. There's another video, another screenshot. And here's another pretty good video provided by FinCEN. Again, I have an exit ticket. It's pretty simple. But again, I'm asking for a brief summary, just again to assess what the students learned within the unit. Module 3 is the same. It discusses writing a suspicious activity report. I have the lesson here and simply list out the steps leading up to writing a SAR. Here's a suspicious activity form. I also provided this as a document within the module. Here's a few screenshots of it though. I try to explain each section and how you fill each one out. Then I refer to the next step. After you complete the form, you send it to the SAR committee. And assuming the SAR committee believes it's a SARable offense, we file the suspicious activity report. Because of bank secrecy and FinCEN, I'm not able to download the actual suspicious activity report for this class. I would be able to in a training program. But here's a few screenshots that gives people an idea of what it's about. Here's another video discussing the narrative. The narrative is within the SAR, and it pretty much sums up all the suspicious activity you're reporting on. It's a pretty important part of the SAR. As mentioned, I have the suspicious activity form. This is an internal document that we use at the bank prior to writing a SAR. And here's my exit ticket. Again, it's pretty simple. If you were paying attention within the lesson, you would be able to fill it out pretty easily. And this is pretty quick. It's just it discusses the continuing review, which is something you have to do after every SAR you file. You have to go back and see if the activity is ongoing after 90 days. Pretty short and sweet. Because the lesson was so short, the exit ticket is also short, and just a simple question. Here's the final assessment. It's kind of a live walkthrough of everything we learned. So basically, they're just going to, the people I'm training would look for a suspicious transaction, and they'll go through the whole steps of identifying the suspicious transaction, writing it up with our internal form, and then eventually filing their first SAR. I included the suspicious activity form here again, and this is where the suspicious activity report would be, where we within the bank. But here I am just kind of explaining why I can't put it there. And with that being said, that is the course on an introduction to BSA training. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you have any questions, feel free to look through it yourself. Thank you.